Hi there everybody and welcome back to another news video right here on the Toon Review YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. We have news ahead of the game tonight, of course, as Newcastle United head to Liverpool at Anfield in the Premier League for tonight's big game. Don't forget, if you're watching this video on Wednesday afternoon, tune in tonight at 7:45 for Matchday Live. We've got half an hour build up to the game. Kickoff is at 8:15 and as usual, play-by-play commentary right here on the channel. So don't forget to tune into that. Watch the game on the TV and listen to our commentary. That is the perfect way to watch Newcastle United. But like I say, we do have a bit of news to go through. Arne Slot, he won't be on the bench for Liverpool tonight. Tino Livramento could well be a target for Manchester City in the summer, and more details have emerged on the stadium plans. But we'll start off with Arne Slot because he will not be on the touchline for Liverpool tonight. He received a 2-match ban. That was for the incident that happened at the end of the Merseyside derby against Everton. Of course, Everton scoring very late in the game to tie the game. All hell broke loose at the final whistle. Handbags a dozen, but apparently Slot got in the face of Michael Oliver, said something he shouldn't. He was red carded, as was his assistant in that game. They have both received 2-match touchline bans. Now, will this have any effect on the way Liverpool play tonight? Well, time will tell. Obviously. I wouldn't expect it to make much of a difference. He can still be in the dressing room and in the stands. I don't think, these Liverpool players are very, very professional. They've been around the block a long time and they know how Arne Slot wants to play. So I don't foresee really why Liverpool would look a little bit disjointed, even though the manager's not on the bench. It's a one-off situation, I guess. So you just don't know, though. Liverpool might look a bit edgy early doors. They've made sure it's a huge game. They've asked the fans to make it a real bad atmosphere for Newcastle United. So Liverpool might start nervous. They might be a bit disjointed, and that's when your manager is needed on the touchline. But let's face it, this is a world-class team we're playing tonight, and whether their manager's in the stands or on the touchline, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. But he won't be there, banned for 2 games. Now, one of the stories I've seen this morning is linking Tino Livramento with a move to Manchester City in the summer, or Manchester City declaring interest in Tino Livramento. Now, of course, Livramento's 22. He's come to Newcastle. He's established now in the first team. He seems to be ahead of Kieran Trippier in the pecking order now. And listen, he's very raw, Tino Livramento. No doubt about that. But he's a hell of a talent. And of course, earned a call up to the England squad last time out. But he has struggled a little bit this season. He struggled in the final third of the field. Now, I don't know why that is, because if you remember Livramento, when he first came to us and first got in the team, he was bombing forward. He was taking players on. He was cutting right across the field, really creating attacking moments for us. We saw some great runs from Tino. But the problem is that he seems to have taken a step back since then. And now when he gets into that final third, he seems to just be a bit disjointed, not very confident in crossing the ball or taking a man on. And 9 out of 10 times you'll see him stop, turn and roll it back to Share and then rebuild again. Now, look, that might be Eddie Howe's intention. He might have instructed Tino to do that, not to give, crosses in just willy-nilly and making sure that if there's nobody there to receive the cross and lose the ball. He may be thinking if Tino gets his head up, there's nothing on, let's just take it back and we'll start again. That may well be the instruction from the manager. But certain times we've seen clear opportunities where Tino could get a cross in or he could take a man on, but he just panics a little bit, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why that step back has been taken. But like I say, he's 22. He's very raw. However, Pep Guardiola apparently sees Tino Livramento as a possible replacement for Kyle Walker, because obviously Kyle Walker left the club in January to go and play for AC Milan on loan. He's not expected to stay at Manchester City, which opens up a gap at right back for them, and Pep sees Tino as a possible fantastic replacement for him. He loves the energy, he loves the athleticism that Tino has. Obviously, there is still plenty to sharpen up in his game. But if you look at Pep Guardiola as a manager, he certainly knows how to sharpen those areas up, and I'm sure he would. But we don't want to lose Tino Livramento. And again, it seems like the press just sort of target Newcastle United players and think, yeah, That could be an option. Why would he want to stay at Newcastle United when Manchester City come knocking? Well, he's got a big future at Newcastle. At right back. He could make that right back position at Newcastle United his for many, many years to come. There is no transfer fee mentioned in this report. It just says Pep may be very keen to work with Tino Livramento after having seen him play against Manchester City and play for England and things like that. He is a big fan of the right back. But just because Pep's a big fan of a player does not mean that he's going to sign for Manchester City, by the way. How many times have we seen this season that Pep's had great conversations with opposition players after the game? He is very much a football man. And to the point where after Man City games at certain times this season, you see him actually giving advice to opposition players. He's a fantastic football man, Guardiola. And I can understand the pull to want to work for him. But at the same time, Eddie Howe himself has a reputation of building players. Look what he's done with some of our players in the squad since he's been manager. The improvement that we've seen has been second to none, in my opinion. It's been absolutely fantastic. So, Eddie Howe, he's not the name of Pep Guardiola, not yet anyway. Eddie's got a long way to go before he gets to that level. But he has got the capabilities of bringing players on, when they need sharpening up in certain areas. Eddie will work with him. And it's just a question of, working with Tino and giving him the time to get those certain areas leveled out. But I guess it's going to happen. When we've got very good players in our squad, they are going to be linked with moves away, especially the way the southern media feel about Newcastle United, wanting players to go down south or leave Newcastle for some strange reason. It's bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. But that'll continue to happen, guys, unfortunately. There's nothing we can do about it. Now, finally, details have emerged on new stadium plans. Luke Edwards has put a report out, which is very interesting, by the way. I'm not sure how Newcastle fans might feel on this, if this is in fact true. Luke Edwards has reported that the new stadium may only have a capacity of 68,000. Now, lots of people were banding around 70,000, 75, possibly 80. I think 80 was a stretch because I think Newcastle have to build slowly. The new stadium could well have the facility that if they do need to build on at certain points, they can easily do that. But 68,000 comes as a bit of a shock to me because of the amount of people wanting tickets. The queue for tickets is incredible. And I would think that a 70 to 75,000 seater stadium for me would fill out quite easily. Knowing that Newcastle United have support, not only just in the northeast, but all over the country and other places. People would want to come in and watch Newcastle United. Certainly the plans are where the club wants to be. There's more and more supporters going to jump on the bandwagon, isn't there? So there's going to be lots of people wanting to watch Newcastle United. Now, apparently the new stadium would come at a price of 1.2 billion. Now, that seems an awful lot of money to us, but it's PIF we're talking about here. So, yes, it's still a lot of money, but when you're talking about PIF involved, is it really that much? Now, expanding St James's Park, if they were to do that, that would come at a cost of 1 billion itself. So you're looking at not a big difference whichever way they go, stadium-wise. St James's Park, now, again, it was thought that maybe they'd only go to 58 to 60,000 at St James's Park, but it's thought that they can raise the capacity to 65. Now, if a new stadium is only going to be 68, St James's Park, they have plans to get it to 65, with the Gallagher End being one of the biggest stadium stands in the world. Now, that would be something to look at, wouldn't it? Again, we look at Dortmund and this yellow wall they have at their stadium. And this was mentioned quite a few months back when the stadiums were being talked about, of course, creating that yellow wall kind of thing at St James's with a black and white wall. So that is still on the table, by the way. So it is not definitive either way yet about which way they're going to go. It is still believed that March will be the final decision and the fans will get to know that in March. So we're not far away from March now. Doesn't say when in March, but we're very much close to March now. So it's starting to get exciting. when I asked you guys the other day on a news show, what would you rather want, a new stadium or stay at St James's? 99% of people said, at least said, a new stadium. But this has just put a little bit of a doubt on that, to which way they're going to go. Because you look at the costs for each one, 65k at St James's Park or 3,000 more capacity as a new stadium. But then we look at what a new stadium could offer. We're not just talking about the stadium itself. We're talking about the infrastructure, what goes on around the stadium, hotels, bars, cafes, restaurants, all that type of thing. That we could bring new business to the area around St James's Park or wherever the new ground is going to be. That area, hotels and etc., it could be massive. So they've got that to think about as well. It's not just building the capacity of St James's Park and leaving everything as it is. It's all about building massive revenue for the football club. So would it come from a new stadium or 65,000 seater? I think it would look a bit lopsided though, don't you? If we're creating the Gallagher as one of the biggest stands in the world, and then you're peering down on the Little East stand, it's going to look very, very lopsided, the stadium. But listen, I've said before, I'd love to see a new stadium now. I think the time is right. We've got the right owners to build that new stadium and pay a lot of money for the right architects, etc., to get that stadium looking absolutely incredible. But we will have to wait and see what the decision is in March. But anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. As usual, if you have enjoyed it, hit that like button for us. Very important to the channel. And of course, if you are new, please do come and subscribe. It is free to do so. It's a fantastic community here on the Toon Review, rapidly growing as well. But make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you for the big match tonight at 7:45. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, folks. Take care.